Welcome to this word of hope for this January 10th, 2023, Tuesday of the first week in Ordinary Time. Christmas may be over officially, but the themes are continuing. We have this Emmanuel, this God with us in the midst and in the presence of Jesus, once again shown. And this time it's recognized by other beings that would have known. We see this in the demons that Jesus casts out. And people are beginning to question and see and encounter this great mix of humanity and the divinity, and in one way, a preference of God for that. We hear in the creation story about how God created us uniquely in his own image. And in the first reading from Hebrews, we get that famous line from the psalmists, which is repeated in the prophets, who is man that God had favored us? God deemed to look at us. We can sometimes struggle with humility. We can sometimes maybe doubt, why does anybody actually prefer me or choose me? When you get a great gift or when someone expresses a love that you may feel unworthy of. In many ways, I was humbled by a recent trip I was able to take with friends who wanted me there on this big vacation with them. And the generosity that's poured out is sometimes very difficult to take. Who am I? We might doubt our worth. But in the end, it's not for us to determine what our worth is. And God, from the very beginning, created us good. And he created us, humankind, in such a way and we were able to share in a very particular way in the image of God. The incarnation is once again God trying to bring that truth to bear in front of us for where we may have forgotten it, or when many voices around us have tried to tell us it's not true. It's the first fall. It's what Adam and Eve were tempted to think and believe. But Christ's coming. And in the beginning, as he begins his ministry in this episode with the possessed people, he is once again showing that humans and God hold a special place. And though others may be jealous of that, it is not for us to determine. But God sees us and still sees us as good and will work so that we may thrive and flourish. So let us offer a humble gratitude today in our prayer so that we may evermore continue to learn how is it that God sees us and that we can then put on God's eyes so that we can see others as God sees them and be for each other as God has always intended us and hoped for us to be. God bless.